womp or not to womp? The Wampa Omicron is alive and well, and if you guys have not heard, there is a lot of good stuff coming out about the Wampa Omicron, including potentially beating Sith Eternal teams, which we've got footage of right now. And so there's a lot of questions that I'm getting about the Wampa Omicron. What can I solo with Wampa? What should I not be able to solo with Wampa? And should I wait to equip my Omicron on Wampa? Because I'm worried that CG is going to nerf this. And so we're going to discuss all of that in today's video so you guys can be as informed as possible. Now, I want to be clear. Information is still coming in about Wampa Omicron. Something that's difficult about Omicrons in particular, especially GAC Omicrons, is you only get to use them. Well, in fact, every Omicron, because even in territory battles, which, I mean, I guess some people are probably equipping in territory battles Omicrons, but not that many people. But even for territory wars in Grand Arena, you only get one shot at using the Omicron. You can't test it over and over and over again. And so there's going to be some variance here. We're going to try to tackle it as much as we can to give you guys as educated of a opinion as possible. So we divide this video into 3 categories: to womp, not to womp, or to womp. We're going to talk about confirmed Wampa sightings of Omicron abilities working against solo teams. Obviously, this is solo Wampa versus teams, where we are very confident it won't work either because it timed out, didn't work at all, or we're just very confident that it will not work because of certain kit things. And there's some questions at the bottom here that we're going to discuss as well. Now, I want to forward you guys to a very good video on this subject as well to work as a companion with this video. I'm not going to show any of the footage in this video, but End All Be All put together a similar video that I'm doing right now where he broke down several battles and gave his opinion on some teams he thinks you probably should avoid against Wampa as well. So I want to give him a big shout out because he just put together a fantastic video on the subject. Link is down below in the description. I just wanted to give him a shout out for that. So before we get it, well, let's start with this. Well, I'm going to show you what we can Wamp, and then after that, we will discuss a little bit about the potential of a nerf. So, boom. Here are some confirmed Wampa sightings that are working very well. We have got Troopers, Akbar, with the Omicron. Big shout out to Hyperspace Cowboy who had footage of that. Mon Mothma team, Sith Eternal, it's true, Iden Versio, Grievous, and even Newt Seps without Grievous. Now, I do have 2 big asterisk marks on Sith Eternal and Veers. The Veers footage I saw was without Dark Trooper. I do not think that this would work if Dark Trooper was in the squad. There's just so much damage, so much assisting. I do think eventually it would catch up to Wampa. Also, in the battle that I saw, Stark did not get a chance to land his Daze. Daze is going to be one of the biggest enemies to Wampa squads. Obviously, Wampa's going to have some ramping up tenacity with that Omicron, but still can get in there. So Daze, tenacity down to get some of those other debuffs are going to be some things to watch out for, which we'll talk about in the no Wamp section. And so, anyway, I'm just not convinced that Troopers are going to be reliable, but without Dark Trooper, we did see it work. It wasn't the best modded Wampa. That was on Reddit. Wampa Omicron Akbar, working very well. Mon Mothma, even with Kyle Katarn, working very well. The Sith Eternal teams that I've been seeing, I'm seeing Piet. Did I say Stark? I meant Piet. Piet's the one who applies the Daze. Anyway, the footage I saw did have Piet in it. He just didn't get a chance to do his AoE. Anyway, Sith Eternal. The squads that I've been seeing with Sith Eternal are not optimal Sith Eternal squads necessarily. So I'm not sold on Sith Eternal yet. I would be careful, but I have seen 2 battles where that has worked so far. And so I'm going to put an asterisk on it for now, but let's just wait and see how that works. Maybe we'll be able to take it off. Maybe it will be more reliable. Iden Versio working very well. Grievous working very well. Newt all working very well. And I'm sure there's others that we're going to add to this list. This is just what I've seen for sure. I don't want to put anything up there that I haven't actually seen with my own 2 eyes working yet. Otherwise, we're just doing theory. Now, should you be worried about a nerf? Especially seeing Sith Eternal on this list right now, I know that's going to make everyone wonder, is this going to get nerfed? And my immediate response when I saw Sith Eternal was, yeah, this is going to get nerfed. But seeing that it wasn't optimal squads, most people aren't putting Sith Eternal on offense or on defense. Maybe it won't get nerfed, but I'm going to say very confidently, this is in the proceed with caution category. If you do not have your Wampa Omicron out there right now, my suggestion would be to wait until the end of this GAC phase to decide what you're going to do. If you equip your Wampa Omicron right now, it doesn't benefit you. We're already in the middle of a GAC. But once we hit Monday and our rounds end and we've got the sign-up phase, if CG hasn't by then announced if they're looking into something, then I think we can probably feel safe equipping the Omicron at that point. Especially tomorrow evening is probably when I would expect them to say something. The footage is out there. The community's talking about it. It's one of the main subjects in the community. And so if there's something they're uneasy about, I think we'll get some kind of post like we got for the Echelon already that says we're looking into this. And then if they do that, I would hold off on equipping that Omicron because as we saw with Qui-Gon's Omicron, they're not really going to refund those, I guess. So anyway, that is all I have to say about that. Make your own decision. Now, here are the teams we should be avoiding for the no womp. Now, I'm actually, it's not just limited to these characters and these teams. I actually want to highlight a couple things here. I've got debuffs or abilities underneath these characters that I want to highlight as reasons why we want to avoid these characters. So it may apply to other teams as well. So Thrawn and Trey are kind of obvious. Fracture is just going to kill Wampa. It's going to pin you down. There's nothing you can do. Isolate is going to basically do the same thing and really limit those counters. Rexolate, any big one-hit KOs, you're going to want to watch out for. Ahsoka Tano, Commander Ahsoka Tano is going to be on that list. Nihilus is going to be on that list. If you're working against a ticking time bomb, Wampa needs a little bit of time to ramp up. That's probably going to be ill-advised. Padme squads, there's a lot going on with Padme squads that you may need to watch out for, but the protection of the anti-assist mechanics are kind of what you want to watch out for. That does apply to counters, and so having those counters work against you. Maybe Wampa, I could almost put Padme in the question mark category because I'm wondering, I haven't seen anything on this, I am wondering if it's going to, if Wampa's going to be able to hit through it, if the counters will be enough. I feel like it probably will slow him down too much and either risk a timeout or there'll just be enough damage on the team to take care of it. CLS is an interesting one. There's actually so many things about CLS that I think you want to avoid. I haven't seen anything with Wampa on CLS, but especially if C-3PO's in there, you've got exposes to watch out for. Chewie's going to be able to get tenacity down out there, which is, I think, one of the most important ones, because when tenacity down gets out there, then you're vulnerable to so many other things, and that tenacity is no longer going to be helping you. The turn meter strip, everything that comes along with that, I think you're going to definitely want to watch out for with CLS. Now, the thing about the CLS team is it is a bit of a glass cannon. If Wampa gets up and running, maybe you could beat a CLS team. I just think there's too much going on there that would work against you. The fear with Darth Revan, I think, is what would crush you on that. So any of those fear-based squads, I would be nervous about. And then irresistible dazes. Avoid those like the plague. I do not feel like that would work out at all for Wampa. Dash Rendar is going to fall in that category, obviously. And then anyone else who has any option to get that daze out there is going to be something you want to watch out for. But especially the irresistible dazes, because there's nothing you can do about that regardless of how much tenacity you've got. I'm actually not feeling like bugs would work. I could be proven wrong. Maybe they'll have a hard time landing the ability block, but Poggle obviously has that chance to land that ability block, and you could be stuck with basic the whole time, never get a chance to get your days out, never get a time to do your roar, and that could just slow you down way too much. And so if you've got your Omicron on Wampa, I'd be probably avoid all of these kind of squads that have these kind of mechanics. Maybe you could try them out, but just know, like, if you lose, it's not my fault because, you know, I warned you. All right. Now, to the Wamp question mark category. Maybe this would work. Maybe it won't. Some of these I feel like probably won't work. So, I feel like Night Sisters could be a good option. The concern with Night Sisters typically is you can get stun locked so much, and then what can you do at that point? But they don't have unresistible stuns. I'm not sure if Wampa's tenacity will be enough to eventually counteract that. I feel like it would, and I think you could probably handle Night Sisters. Maybe not in the high relics, but definitely lower gear Night Sisters. A lot of people run into Night Sister teams where they're kind of half relics, kind of half not. Maul, I do not think will work. I just think the team has too much damage, too much assisting, too many opportunities to pin the Wampa down. And Maul, of course, can ramp up and just has so much damage. JTR is, I kind of go back and forth on the days could be a big deal for Wampa. The heal block, there's damage there. There's a lot of turn meter gain. There's tenacity down as well with BB-8. And so that could create some issues for you. Chirpa and the Ewoks also have days. I don't believe it's an irresistible days, though. And so that's one that I think could potentially work. I'm just not 100% sure. Because of the days, I'm uneasy. Omicron, Qui-Gon, Jinn. I don't know. I honestly, I feel like the answer is no, because you have to kill Qui-Gon, and then everyone's going to come at you with tons of offense. I feel like that onslaught that comes once Qui-Gon is down is going to be too much. Now, obviously, you can get the days out there, which would help mitigate some of it, but not enough. Anakin's still going to get a bonus. I don't think... Actually, somebody's going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe days stops your bonus turn for Anakin. But if it does, then maybe there would be some more merit to that. I'm just not 100% sure if that works. Somebody who... I'm recording this live. Somebody in the chat, let me know if days would prevent Anakin from getting his bonus turn when Qui-Gon dies. Bosk, we got stun in there, guys. We got lots of assisting. We've got Boba Fett with potentially a big annihilate kind of kill. I feel like that's probably not going to work, but I just don't know. It probably depends. Like, if we're going against Zam Omicron, that would probably change things. I think in that case, definitely would not work. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts on Wampa's Omicron so far. How do you guys feel about the Wampa Omicron? And I'm getting right now that days doesn't prevent bonus turns. It's just turn meter. Okay, great. So, yeah, so probably no on the Omicron Qui-Gon. So, all right. Hopefully, we don't see a nerf on Wampa. I really hope not, because there's so many options here on this list. I actually think this is a very, very exciting Omicron. And assuming CG doesn't make an announcement they're looking into changing anything, I'm going to slap this Omicron on. It'll be my next Omicron. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Lots of good stuff going on. Be sure to head over to the Gridsy session tonight, too. By the way, Heinze basically alluded in Rogue Actions that they're going to be dropping something fun for us. And so, I mean, he denied it, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So I think we're all going to want to tune in that and see what's coming. All right, guys, we're getting out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,